Well, it's a little early, Martin, to be specific, but I strongly feel that from conversations with a number of the people yesterday that there will be a wholehearted, very sincere effort on the part of all Republicans in the House or the Senate to stand by and stand with the new president. No one could believe what transpired yesterday. I think the shock is still with most of the members of the House and the Senate, just as it is with our citizens as a whole. The comments made by Congressman Halleck and Senator Dirksen at the White House meeting last night that Congressman Boggs referred to, I think those statements are the reflection of what people in the minority party, both the leadership and the others, feel. And I'm confident as we move ahead in the legislative branch of the government that President Johnson will get a maximum support in trying to conduct the government's business, business which is important, business which the late president knew had to be done, and who would understand the process probably better than any president we've had in recent years.
I would think that President Johnson would make a great president. I've had the good fortune of being quite close to President Johnson, as well as having been very close to President Kennedy. My own feeling about the presidency is that a man who reaches that ultimate spot has to have a sense of what the office means, what this country means, and what it has meant, what it means not only to each one of us, but to people who seek freedom everywhere on earth. I think President Johnson understands this fully and completely. He's been born and nurtured and reared, so to speak, in the American political scheme of things. He spent his life in the House, in the Senate, Majority Leader, as Vice President. He's superbly qualified to be President of the United States. Now, the style of a man, the way he reacts, the way he does things is something that's personal and individual, and in each one of us is different. You would be different from me, and Senator Towers would be different from Jerry Ford, and I would be different from my colleagues. But I think if we have this basic sense, and President Johnson has it so completely about what our country is, that we have certainly nothing but good things to look forward to. We shall miss, of course, the great humanity of this man. I really can't talk about it. President Kennedy was a dear friend of mine, and I loved him dearly. He was thought of as an intellectual, and he was that. But he was also a fine human being with a human understanding. On Wednesday, when we had breakfast, the first thing that he asked about was the speaker who had lost his brother on Sunday. And he personally phoned the commanding officer at one of the military establishments in Boston and asked that he personally go to the funeral to represent him. He was that sort of human person. And in the legislative mills, he never asked any of us to agree totally or even halfway with him. People would comment on the fact that some of us who went to the leadership breakfast didn't vote with him on many occasions. So we've lost a great president. I think we have also gained one.
In view of the nature of the statement, I would appreciate it if we would not go into any other questions at this time. President Kennedy yesterday wrote the final and greatest chapter in his profiles of courage. Today, millions of people throughout the world are trying to find words adequate to express their grief and their sympathy to his family. The greatest tribute we could all pay to his memory would be in our everyday lives to do everything we possibly can to reduce the hatred that drives men to such terrible deeds.